Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of the Duo Group Ironman Road to Max Saga. In the last video, as you could tell, I just got 99 runecraft. All I've got left is the typical Ironman bottleneck of herb lore and then a little bit of woodcutting to do as well. I've been a very responsible Ironman though. I've consistently been keeping up with my herb runs for many months now, and I have a lot stockpiled in the bank. I don't believe I quite yet have 99 herb lore banked, but with a little bit of help from Kingdom, I think that should just about get me there. It's been like 2.5 months since I last checked it, and I think if you have your favor at 100% every day and you have the maximum amount of workers on herbs, I think that should get you about 6k herb lore XP per day. So let me just double check and make sure everything's set right. While the amount of resources you get from Kingdom is calculated at the end of each day, the type of resource is only determined when you actually collect. So whatever I set it to now is what I'm going to get. It doesn't really matter what the other stuff is. I'm just going to put it on coal, but as long as the maximum amount is put onto herbs, that's what matters. So let's collect resources and see what we have. Whew. That is a lot of herbs and a pretty good amount of coal too. Maybe that'll help out Spook Dog when she's going for 99 smithing. And now when I check the bank, I think this will have the refresh option. The banked XP plugin says I'm currently at about 7.6 mil banked XP, but let's refresh. And now that's up to about 8 mil XP. Yeah, so that's about 400k herb XP I just got from Kingdom. Before I get started with anything else, I'm just going to clean all the herbs. Normally, I clean them as I go when I do my farm runs, but because I was hunting herbivore and then I just got a bunch from Kingdom, those are just grimy. They go into the bank. Let's see how much XP I get from cleaning everything. You could just pay 50 GP per herb in Narda to have all these cleaned for you, but if you do that, you don't get any herb lore XP. There's also the degrime spell, which does the whole inventory at once. But, well, you have to use a bunch of runes for that, and then also you only get half the amount of herb lore XP as you would get for just cleaning them. So I just decided to manually clean all of them. I got a bit lazy with it though, so this ended up taking me over an hour to clean, but I'm just about done here. Look, I know it's not the efficient thing to do, because in 1 hour I end up gaining like 66k herb lore XP, but that's what happens when you're lazy and desperate for herb lore XP. Here's all the clean herbs in the bank, and I wanted to do this so this way I would know exactly what I have. I mean, I could have just added them, I guess, but I have to clean these anyways. So you may have noticed a bit of an issue. It says I have about 1 million XP left to get to 99, but that is because I have some things unselected here. For example, the dwarf weed potions. I'm not going to be collecting any more wines of Zamorak than I already have. Let me see how many I have actually. I have about 1800, which is from PVM, but it's so slow to get them. As a last resort, if I really need to do it, I'll go telegrab wines of Zamorak, but I'd rather just leave them to be a passive thing from PVMing. So that's a few 100k more herb lore XP. And then there's also the amylase crystals. I don't have these selected because I don't want to use all of them. I do want to save some marks of grace to buy more graceful sets for all the different recolors. So I might just use like maybe 1 to 2,000 marks of grace depending on how much more XP I still need for 99. And then there's at least one or a few potions I think that aren't on here, like for making the anti-venoms out of the antidote plus pluses, the super or the extended, the potion above the anti-fire potions, those aren't on here either. So I think between all of those potions and things I don't have selected, it should be enough to get me to 99, especially if I continue to do some farm runs here and there over the next week or so until I max. I think it'll be good. The goal of this video though is to do all the final prep I need to do before maxing, which is going to be collecting secondaries for herb lore. I want to get all the secondaries collected, and it's going to be quite a bit. I got all the farmable stuff collected, the snapegrass, limpworts, whiteberries, but the stuff you have to collect yourself, I don't have. So the things we're going to be doing this video are going to be the blue dragon scales, red spider's eggs, and mort fungus. I'm going to start with the blue dragon scales. I have 4 in the bank right now, and for each of the secondaries I collect, I do want to time 1 hour of doing it just to see how many per hour you could get if you're like paying decent attention. Oh my god, it's the new pet. That's so cool. I'm going to be collecting the blue dragon scales in the Myths Guild. I don't think my gear really matters too much. I just have like some defensive bonus gear along with graceful for running around. I might be able to just switch into full defensive gear. I could also set my quick prayers to pray melee, and probably doesn't really matter too much either. But I should be able to leave my prayer on the entire time because after every single trip, I'll be banking and then teleporting back to the POH since I'm using the mounted Myths Cape in the POH to get back here. So I pick up those first 2, and then after the first 2, there's just 4 that spawn in this area. So I'm just going to go in a circle, picking them up. Oh, I have to hop worlds actually. I'm going to hop to the highest population world there is right now. And I explained this in my UIM series when I was collecting these scales, so I will let past me explain the reason why I'm going to a very high pop world. Fun fact, by the way, some ground items respawn faster based on the world's population. On the left side, I'm on a 2.2k world with under 100 players, and on the right side, I'm on world 2 with 1400 players. This is proof that the more people on a world, the faster the respawn timer, since it took about 11 seconds on world 2 versus about 17 seconds on the 2.2k world. And this actually does matter for me because I would otherwise have to be waiting around after each rotation of picking up dragon scales if I was on a low population world. Yeah, it's a bit laggy in this world as you would expect. It's quite a bit of ping. You can see the blue dragon scale already respawned well before I even got there. You could bring the pestle and mortar to grind these up as you go, but it'd be a little bit extra effort I don't want to put in. So by the time I'm done with all this, I'll just bring them to the guy in Narda to crush them for 50 GP each. Okay, and after the inventory is done, you could just teleport to your POH and call the butler and have your butler bring them to the bank for you. But that costs money, and it's like such a minimal time save that I don't care about saving an extra minute over the whole course of doing this, so it's fine. I'm gonna restore here, and yeah, I still have plenty of prayer left. So, like I said, I could just leave the prayer on the whole entire time and then teleport straight back to the dragons. And with that out the way, I will report back after 1 hour to see how many dragon scales I have collected. It's been about 1 hour now. Keep in mind, this is not an efficient hour. This is just me kind of just chilling, watching YouTube and doing stuff in the meantime, which is pretty relevant to the average player. Oh my god, the lag. Okay, deposit these, and it's about... oh my god, it's gonna be about 800 blue dragon scales per hour. I have 4,000 Lantodimes in the bank, so it's gonna be about 4 more hours of collecting these. Also, probably should mention this, you could instead make magic potions instead of anti-fires using potato cactus, which I do already have enough potato cactus if I wanted to make them, and it's more XP as well. But the reason why I'm going with the anti-fire potions is, first off, because the magic potions are completely useless to me. I'm never going to use these because I have the imbued heart, but anti-fires, I will definitely get use out of those. And then not only that, but also you can make these into higher tier potions, the variations of like extended and super anti-fires as well. So that's going to be even more XP overall than just making magic potions. I'd recommend hiding your NPC attack options or making them right click so that way you don't accidentally misclick on the blue dragons and you could just click straight through onto the scales. Kind of cool timing, the tiers are ready just in time for this herb lore related video. And it's 11k XP. Shift, right click, swap left click to be teleport to POH. Just remind me to switch this back when I'm done collecting the scales, thank you. Actually, I'm gonna keep it like that for probably all the secondaries I'll be collecting, but remind me after I'm done collecting secondaries to switch it back. I don't like keeping it left click because I accidentally click on it when I'm trying to unequip it, or even when it's in my inventory, I'll accidentally left click it if I have it set to that for the inventory, and it gets really annoying. My AFK time, of course, is gonna be filled with woodcutting. I'm just under 500k XP to 99, so it's under 10 hours, probably like 8 or 9 hours of woodcutting. Probably just end up doing a couple hours a day while I'm editing / eating. Finally done with the blue dragon scales, got over 4,000 of them. We'll do a price check. Let's do a price check of just 800 just to see like what the profit would be for 1 hour. So that's 665k for 1 hour, and then the total amount is worth 3.4 mil. Next up, I'm going to go for the mort fungus. In the bank, we currently have basically none, and there's a couple locations I want to test out because there's a lot of different spots that you could cast bloom at. For each of the fungus locations, I'm just going to time how long it takes starting from here to do a full inventory, bank it, and then get back to this spot again. The first spot I'm going to do, I'll just show you where it's at first. It's fairy ring code BKR, and then there's this 3 log spot down here, and then a couple of 2 log spots, although I prefer the northeast 2 log spot. A few tips before we get into this. First off, I have my NPC attack options still set to right click because the snails could be annoying if you accidentally attack them. I'm going to set the left click for the equipped blisterwood flail to be bloom, so now I can just click right from there, and this way I don't have to have it in my inventory taking up an extra spot. Because I have the Mauritania hard diary done, I get 2 fungus per log, which is nice. There's a plugin called Inventory Viewer, and this just shows you what's in your inventory. You can drag this anywhere you want. You can't actually click on it, but it just shows you what's in there. So if I'm gonna have the flail equipped, it's gonna be nice. I don't have to go back and forth. I could just keep on clicking that, and I'll be able to see how much fungus I have and when I have to leave. And I guess the only time I'll have to go to my inventory is just to teleport with the crafting cape, which I also have the left click set to teleport for that too. And then to bank, just like I said before, you could use the butler and the POH to bank the items, but it really doesn't take that much extra time to just use it in the deposit box here. You could also use the item on the deposit box, but you still have to accept the amount. Anyways, I'm going to time this now. For this 3 log spot, just ignoring the time, just the method itself is more click intensive because after each cast that you do, you always end up going to one of these surrounding tiles and you have to go back to the middle each time. So it's like always a guaranteed extra click versus with the 2 log spot, you never have to move. But yeah, I'll be testing out the time for this one in just a second. And now the last spot I'm going to test out is a 4 log spot just north of TOB. So I got the Dragon's Medallion, which means I guess I don't need to use the, no, actually I do still need the concave because I have to restore my prayer every few trips. But we'll just ignore that for the test that I'll be timing. I'm going to make the left click be teleport to the Varus and Haza since I'm going to need that teleport to do this method. And just like with the 3 log spot, probably almost every single time I cast Bloom, I'm going to have to run back to that middle tile over there. This is a further run from the teleport. So yeah, I'll time this out and then we'll compare how long these 3 different methods take. You'll probably get crashed here a lot since it has lower requirements. You don't need the fairy ring and the POH to use this spot. I've tested 5 trips of each of those 3 different spots and here is the data that I've collected. And for the 4 log spot, I have a note here that every 5 trips you have to restore prayer at the POH because you wouldn't otherwise be going to the POH. So if you're not using POH banking and you're using the crafting guild or something else, then you'll have to add on 2 seconds per trip for the POH teleport. And after looking at all these different times, I've come to the conclusion that I think it's pretty safe to say they're all about the same. I mean, if you're like a super efficient player, there might be some spot that's better if you're tick perfect, but if you're just a normal player, then they're all going to be about the same. So just do the one you enjoy the most. I'm personally just going to use the 2 log spot because I think it's the most chill and has the least clicking, but hopefully the data from that testing can provide some helpful insight for you. I'm going to separate this mort fungus by just putting it into the group storage for now because I want to test out 1 hour. Oh, 2 more group storage slots. This trip is about to be 1 hour done of collecting the mort fungus, and this was actually a more efficient hour than I would probably normally otherwise do. Probably because of the fact that I was actually using a timer for this hour, which adds a little bit of stress, which could be a good or a bad thing depending on how you want to look at it. But let's see what we got from this 1 hour. Let me take this off the screen. And 1 hour collecting mort fungus is going to be 1,800, which would probably more realistically be like 1,500 per hour because I get really distracted a lot. But cool to know that 1 hour could be 1,800 and probably even more if you're tick perfect. And then the value of this is 546k, so you would be better off collecting blue dragon scales. Unless you're an Iron Man, of course, in which case you're probably going to want to collect both of them. But yeah, so I'm up to 2,300 and I have to get the stack up to 7,800. So that's going to be at least 3, probably closer to 4 more hours to go. How unlucky is this? The freaking strange plant just started growing on top of the log. Wait, can I can make it walk here instead. Yeah. A wild mudkip catching a wild dragon impling and stealing glories from Iron Man. Okay, never mind. And finally, the mort fungus is done. That is 8,000 of them. Looks beautiful in the bank. And let's just do a price check before we move on to the next thing. This is worth 2.4 mil. Next thing I'm going to collect is the red spider's eggs. I had been considering killing Sarachnis for this grind eventually when it was going to come up, which is now. But the thing is, I'll show you on the wiki, the giant egg sack is 100 red spider's eggs, and it's a 1 out of 20 drop rate from the boss, which means you would average 5 eggs per kill. But if I have 3,500 snapdragons, that would be 700 Sarachnis kills to do. So like I could spend a few days or a week or something killing Sarachnis, and that would be the more macro efficient thing to do for progressing this account and going for the collection log. But I just want to max as fast as possible, so I'd rather just spend a few hours collecting red spider's eggs at Tower of Life rather than camping Sarachnis for a week. For a Tower of Life, you use a red spider egg and a sardine to summon the spidines, which then drop even more red spider's eggs. So I have to collect a bunch of sardines right now. And the spidines drop between 3 and 6, so it's an average of 4.5 red spider's eggs minus the 1 that you have to use to summon it. So you average 3.5 red spider's eggs per spidine. If I need 3,500 red spider's eggs, then I have to collect 1,000 sardines. So we're over here at the fishmonger in Relica. We're going to trade him, and he sells the raw sardines, and they restock pretty quickly. If you have the Phrenic Easy Diary done, you can deposit your items at Pure the Seer into your bank. And then by the time we get back to the fishmonger, let's see if the stock for the sardines is back up to full. And yeah, it's perfect timing. So I'm just gonna run back and forth doing this for a little bit. Don't forget, shift, right click, swap left click to buy 50. Easy. There we go. I got a lot more than I thought I did in a very short amount of time. Here's how the method goes if you didn't know. I grab out 14 and 14 from the bank, teleport to the POH. I would restore my prayer because I'm probably just going to camp piety the whole time and it should be good. Bury ring code DJP to the Tower of Life. And with the recent change to the game, you don't have to run around anymore. It's just a straight path directly here. Go downstairs, go to the right section here, and then here is the spawning thingy. And I should be able to one-shot them a lot of the time. I just click on it once. I think there used to be like you have to click through the dialogue, but now it's just you click on it and the dialogue automatically goes. Let me turn on auto retaliate too. And then as you can see, it drops the noted red spider's eggs. And so even after a full inventory, you can see I still have plenty of prayer points left over. I used 14 red spider's eggs to get me 66 red spider's eggs. So that's a pretty decent profit right there. I could bring the crafting cape with me or maybe wear like the dragon's medallion. I don't think it really makes much of a difference either way, just because I want to have a completely empty inventory, so I'm just using the con cape. But for now, I'm going to put all these into the group storage and I will time out 1 hour of collecting the red spider's eggs. Wait, no, not all of them. I have to take 14 out so I can get started with this. Okay, let's go. It's probably worth making this left click be Sears Village for now. Well, it has been just about 1 hour now. There's definitely not enough time for another trip, so we'll call it there and let's see how many red spider's eggs I have collected. That's 844. I guess I should subtract the 14 that I started with because those were like not earned during the time. So 830 red spider's eggs in 1 hour comes out to 521k. There is a method I wanted to mention in case you really wanted to get more red spider's eggs per hour. What you could do is go to Tower of Life with the locator orb and a divine potion, get your health down to 1 with the locator orb, drink the divine potion, then you'll die and you'll have a gravestone there. And the way the gravestone mechanics work is that after you have that first gravestone and you die anywhere else in the game, all your items that you die with will get sent to that original gravestone. So you can probably see where I'm going with this. You'll have your gravestone like in this spot or wherever, and then you could just keep on dying anywhere else. So you could just stand at the bank or in Edgeville or something, dying over and over with an inventory of 14 and 14 or like 13 and 13 red spiders, eggs, and sardines, and keep on doing that over and over, and they'll all go to this original gravestone that you have right here next to the symbol. 1200 red spiders, eggs per hour doing that method. So it's like 50% better, but you actually have to put more effort and attention into it, whereas I know I'm going to be like AFKing half this time anyway, so it's not really worth it for me to do it, but I just want to mention that method in case you find it useful. There's plenty of other ways to get red spiders eggs too, like I mentioned before, Sarachnis, you could burst temple spiders in the Forthos dungeon, but at the end of the day, I believe this is just the most micro efficient way to get the most amount of red spiders eggs per hour. Oh yeah, Venenatus drops them too, but anyways, yeah, it's gonna be another like 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours, I guess, of collecting the red spider's eggs. You don't need to pick up the drops right away because of course they will stay on the ground for a bit. So what I do is usually after like half an inventory is when I'll pick up the red spider's eggs off the ground. You probably could go for the full inventory without them despawning, but I just get a bit anxious with them sitting on the ground for so long. So I just pick them up halfway through. I took a break from collecting red spider's eggs tonight to go woodcut for a few hours. And at this point, I am now 3 logs away from 99. So I'm gonna get very close to the level and just get the level of lumberage. And the last tree, oh my gosh. 99 woodcutting. Look at the stats tab, dude. There's now only 1 more 99 to get, just herb lore. Okay, we are right next to the woodcutting tutor. Brought my GP with me. Wait, what was the question? Yes, I think. Okay, 99k, and there is the woodcutting cape. Let's do the emote. And with this cape equipped, you get an additional 10% chance of getting a bird's nest while you chop trees. Alright, I guess back to collecting red spider's eggs. I have like 1 more hour left to go. And that's all the red spider's eggs done. 3.6k. And I actually want to collect some volcanic ash now. I'll probably end up making compost potions, but also just because I need more volcanic ash in general for more ultra compost. And that is 2 more group storage slots. I was just grabbing the pick for my teammate. It's nice finally getting the maximum amount of ash per mine, which is 6. In this case, at level 97 mining is when you cap that out. After spending a few pretty inefficient hours, I've collected 10,000 more volcanic ash. I think that's a pretty good point to stop the mining at. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to do one more farm run, and then I want to count the amount of herbs that I have in the bank. For mining volcanic ash, I'd also recommend a charged glory and a gem bag. I just added up all the numbers of herbs I have in the bank, except for these first three, the guams, marintils, and teramins. Although I might use the teramins for maybe making teramintar, but just of all the herbs excluding those, that is 64,266 potions to make. I mean, it's going to end up being even more potions than that, because when I make like the super energies, for example, I'll be making those potions into a different kind of potion. But yeah, just in terms of like the numbers of herbs I'll be using, it'll be over 64k. Dude, this is about it. I mean, we got everything done except for herb lore at this point. I'm just about almost there to max. My gosh, that's just so crazy to me. It took me about 40 hours to do everything I did in this video, and next video is gonna be maxing. And it's probably gonna take more than 40 hours to get to 99 herb lore, but yeah, dude, next video is gonna be the video. Oh man, I'm gonna have to do a lot of editing to like make it really cool and emotional and stuff. So I will have plenty of time to do that while I'm AFKing herb lore. But with that said, make sure to check out my duo teammate Spookdog's channel, which is linked below in every video description. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you have a great day. And I will see you again next video on Max Island.